Hey everyone, welcome to the review. Here's my review for the movie Criminal. Yes, this movie Criminal stars Kevin Costner, Gadot, Ryan Reynolds, Tommy Lee Jones, Gary Oldman, and Alice Eve. And this movie is directed by Ariel Vromen, who previously directed the movie The Iceman starring Michael Shannon. That's actually a pretty darn good movie. And yeah, this movie Criminal just came out last week. I put off seeing it because I had no interest in seeing it, but I finally got around to see it. And what did I think about this movie? Well, this movie Criminal is a complete waste of time and a complete piece of shit. Yeah, this movie is absolutely god-awful. This movie is shit. Like, if you had any plans to go see this movie, haven't seen it already, don't see it. Don't ever pay money to go see this movie. Skip it. It is a piece of garbage movie. I'm glad I waited a week to see it because if I saw it, I'm glad I didn't see it opening week. But yeah, I saw it now, and this movie is garbage. Like, this is terrible. Watch the trailers for this movie, and you know this entire movie. You know how this movie's gonna end. You know how it's gonna begin. You know everything about this movie because this movie is so predictable, cliched, and generic. Everything about this movie is so by the books. It's a by the books action thriller, sci-fi-ish movie. I don't know what the fuck to call this movie. It is a terrible formulaic movie, and I hated everything about this movie. I hated this movie. I hate it. Yes, it has a stellar cast, but that don't fucking matter. Kevin Costner's in this movie. I really like Kevin Costner. I'm a Kevin Costner fan. I love him. Whether it's Bull Durham, Field of Dreams, Dances with Wolves, No Way Out. I love his movies. He's a fantastic actor. But recently he hasn't done a lot of great movies, and this movie just shows that he's really slipping through the cracks. He is awful in this movie. He is terrible. He plays this villain character who gets memories of Ryan Reynolds' character, and he's awful in this movie. He's a very unlikable character, so you don't really root for him, and you just don't give a shit about him. Everything about this movie, you just don't give a shit about. Ryan Reynolds is in this movie, briefly, and yeah, he's not that good in this movie. Kevin Costner is such a great actor. He's an Academy Award-winning actor. He's not that great in this movie. And Tommy Lee Jones and Gary Oldman, they're phenomenal actors. They do almost everything great. Everything about them is great. Every role they do, even if it's shit, if it's in a shitty movie, they're always great. But in this movie, they're not that great in this movie. And yeah, Alice Eve, she's not great in movies, and she was not that great in this movie. But Gal Gadot was the only thing that I liked about this movie. She is the only person who gave a good performance. She's the only character I actually gave a shit about. Like, I actually cared about her. Like, she was, like, missing her husband. I bought it. And when Kevin Costner comes, she's a little scared. I bought it. Everything about her and her daughter, I actually bought that. It actually, like, it felt realistic. Everything else, I just felt like all these actors were there just to get a paycheck. Like, I felt like no one wanted to be in this movie, and I completely get it, because the script for this movie is absolute garbage, and how this movie is directed is so sloppy, how it's executed and stuff. The action scenes are so boring. I don't give a shit if they're over-the-top violent. Yes, it's a pretty violent movie, but I don't give a fuck. Make an interesting story. Have interesting characters. This movie has none of that. There's no interesting story or interesting characters. There's nothing interesting about this movie. Nothing grips you. Nothing gets you engaged, or even fucking entertains you. There's nothing remotely entertaining about this movie. Criminal is a stupid action thriller, and I'm glad people didn't see it last week, and I hope people keep avoiding this movie, because this movie is terrible. The writing, the direction, the storytelling, the characters, the performances, everything about this movie is awful. Thank God for Gal Gadot for giving one positive to this movie, because I hated this movie. I hated this movie. So yeah, scale 1 to 10, I'll give the movie Criminal a 2 out of 10. Yes, the only thing that's stopping it from being a 1 out of 10 is Gal Gadot's performance. But yeah, please do not see this movie. It is awful. So yeah, that was my review for the movie Criminal. So yeah, in the comment section below, please tell me, what is the worst Kevin Costner role? Worst Kevin Costner role. Comment below, let me know. For me, the worst Kevin Costner role is, let me think. Waterworld's pretty bad. Waterworld's pretty bad, and The Postman. Those are probably one of the worst Kevin Costner movies. Waterworld, The Postman, both terrible movies, but what do you think? What is the worst Kevin Costner movie? Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.